Hi all, it's Ben. I'm bringing you another review. This time I'm reviewing another movie. This one is now, if you actually speak the Indian language, forgive me for if I butcher this, but it's Shivaay. Shivaay. It came out in 2015, and if you have Amazon Prime, you can actually pull up this movie and watch it. It's pretty much all in Indian, or in language that's Indian, but then there's subtitles. So my review isn't so much of a review as it's just these things that crept up into my mind as I was watching the movie. Before I continue, let me just say I'm going to be talking a lot about this movie, so there's a lot of spoilers. So spoiler alert, if you don't want to hear what I have to say or get spoiled on this awesome movie, then you should probably stop here. So I got turned on to this movie mainly through a trailer that I found. I think it was on Facebook or something on YouTube, or it was just a trailer that was cut down showing a lot of action sequences. And I gotta say, this movie is pretty insane. It starts off with like the main character on top of a big snowy mountain. That's what he wears to go climbing. He's doing backflips off a mountain with just ice axes. And this is like mountain climbing terrain, and he has like ice axes, and he's holding on with just incredible grip strength. There's just some pretty crazy stuff. There's like car chases in it. There's like pew pew pew, the pow pow pow, meow meow meow, the wah wah wah. There's just a lot of crazy stuff going on. This movie is pretty wild in that it reminds me of like Rambo 3 with Liam Neeson's Taken and Jason Bourne, all kind of rolled into one into this super movie in Indian. And it's pretty much goes through the whole process where he meets a girl, he falls in love, you know, he rescues her, of course. He ends up having a kid with this girl. One of the heavy themes in here that was kind of weird was that he gets his girlfriend pregnant after only being together for a few days, they said. And she doesn't want to keep it, but he wants to keep it. So there's this weird dilemma that goes on. I don't know if it's a cultural thing, but he does put a lot of pressure on, you know, Olga to have this girl, to have his daughter. And I was like, dude, man, you sure are coming on pretty heavy. So he raises her. He eventually decides to take her back to meet her mom, and that's where chaos ensues. So they go from the Himalayan or the mountainous regions of India. They end up in Bulgaria. Little girl gets kidnapped. He now turns into super kill mode, and he kills a bunch of bad guys. One of the things that I didn't understand is why they made his daughter not speak. They kind of allude to and explain in the movie later that she can hear, but she can't speak. Yet clearly she's making a bunch of noises, and she even at points kind of says like "ma" or something, and you know that she can talk. And also he's not seeming to make some kind of universal language of her. She just points and grunts and stuff, and you'd think after 9 years you would have some kind of rudimentary language develop between them. If there's one key word I could probably summarize this whole movie, it's smoldering intensity. The first scene where his daughter gets kidnapped, man, he just goes into Rambo Super Jason Bourne mode. He's like in such great shape. He's chasing down a moving car. He's leaping from bridges. I mean, cars are crashing into him. He's just causing a wreck because everybody in the streets are crashing into each other. It's just crazy. Yet he gets up to her, but they manage to kick him out. And again, just to develop the story along, he has to find her again somehow. It turns out that the secret crime organization is actually just a human trafficking mafia crew that's selling people, selling little girls, or selling their organs. And so, you know, it gives his justification for murdering a bunch of people pretty much arbitrarily because they're bad guys. There's a scene where he's getting some help from the Indian embassy, and he had made this previous contact with Anu, and she just kind of shows up, but she already called in all these cops to kind of back her up, yet he escapes anyways. You would think after calling in all the police, they'd kind of build a perimeter, but no, they didn't. They just let him get away. I like to point out that the police are too close together. Look how clumped they are. You're shoulder to shoulder. You're not getting anything done here. There should have been at least a few people behind him, flanking him. Look at this. He's just escaping. They knew she was going to meet up with him at this location, yet they didn't set up a perimeter. I'd just like to mention something kind of insane. He gets hit with a high-power round from a helicopter. I can't tell what that is. It looks like it's pretty small caliber, which is weird. But it goes straight through his body. And then he proceeds to fight for the next 20 minutes. He also rolls down a mountain. He's doing hand-to-hand combat like he's unaffected. It's crazy. Remember, he's been shot with a round that went right through his lateral midsection. Just like to point out, remember that he's been shot. They're both smoldering intensity. They're fighting after falling down probably easily 100 feet and landing on that ledge, and they're still fighting. Remember, he's been shot. He's been shot, but his arm hurts, and he notices that. Not only has he been shot, that white dude has stabbed him in the back. Remember, stabbed and shot. Is that even necessary? Oh, don't worry, he's gonna climb that. So he just risked his life trying to save his little daughter. She just kind of flaunts all the great stuff that she has. And then the mom, who's neglected her and just abandoned her for 9 years, suddenly wants the daughter back in her life. And so the dad, Shivaay, has to just accept that. But of course, it's a happy ending. Before he leaves, the daughter kind of convinces him to stay, although he vowed never to leave India to go to Bulgaria, and suddenly I guess he is. But you don't even know what he's going to even do, because it seemed like he was some kind of mountain guide. Doesn't really have any marketable skills except for guiding in the mountains, but he's now going to go live with the new husband and family? Doesn't really make any sense, but then the credits roll. So this is about 2 hours and 33 minutes of craziness. It's not the best movie I've ever seen. It's not the worst movie I've ever seen. It is kind of entertaining and pretty over-the-top action and pretty much stretches the limits of your imagination of what a human being can do. So, yeah, 2 hours and 30 minutes to kill, you know. It's worth watching in probably a group setting so you can all point out some pretty funny and hilarious things. So anyways, thanks for watching.